Hey, this is going to be setting up a project. This is going to be our new project for our mrsMakers workshop production. To start, we're going to open up Scene, and I'm going to pull up. So what I've done is I set up a directory. This is going to be where our Unreal project is. So when we're going to be doing a new project with in production, I'm going to treat this just like we would for a new something that I do at work. This is something I do regularly. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be my content directory, and then I'm going to make a the root directory. I'm going to make content, and then I'm going to make a export directory. This is mainly for games. If you're doing just a render project, you probably don't need export, though you might for certain kinds of things. It's just a separate structure that we do use to send stuff to when we're working. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to say new, and I want to make a new scene. I'm going to call this mrsMakers Unreal, and it's going to bring up a thing to save it. And so I'm going to say I want to put this in my Dropbox. One sec. And mrsMakers Unreal. I'm going to save this here as mrsMakers Unreal project. Alright, so this is Scene, so we're going to be spending a lot of time in here. These are flyouts. There's one on each side, depending on how wide you have it. We'll get to the right side later, but this is where you're going to find the specific information we need to get started. And so we're going to start here. This is the name of the project, so you can change this here if you want, and do our type of project here. This is something that was added in summer of 2021, and so it's just a way to detect when we have changes made here to save here. Just so you don't have to remember, hey, I made a change, I need to go save it. It'll try to say, hey, you did something, you should probably save that. It's just a button. If you click that, it'll save and go away. So you can change what kind of project it is. There are default images for these different kinds of projects that you can use. Currently, name style isn't doing anything. This is something that I want to implement at some point. We do want to use this, but this is going to be a Maya 2018 project, and it's going to be Unreal, and I like MB, so we're going to use that. You can pick. So what lock does, it's for subcontractors mainly, because I'll get to that in a later section, but all it does is it locks certain sections of the project settings so that you can save a version of the project configuration for subcontractors so they're not messing with stuff they shouldn't be. This path here is where the actual config file is stored. So asset types is going to be connected to over here. So currently we don't have anything. So you can add different kinds. So this is our default breakdown. So we have a character, environment, and props. And so this is what's going to be added whenever we add a new character. That character is going to have these subdirectories with it, so you can add different ones as well. And we'll get back into this more when we get to asset management, a later module, but that's what this is for. So for paths, we're going to start here. The setup configuration stores two different path setups. You have your project setup, so we're going to go and set these. So I'm going to save. I want my root, I want my content, and I want my export. And I don't have an image, and that's fine. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to fill it. Let's see. I need to add that. I have a menu option to fill this automatically. I should just, there we go. If I revert it, it'll just pull them. I have a function from project I need to pull over. I just completed a merge of the project tool and scene, so there's going to be some bugs. that'll make me have to redo this video for too long. So we don't have an image yet, so that's why we have this. What I did for this project was make a new header. There used to be requirements on image sizes, but now there's not, so you can make these whatever you want now. So they can be whatever height you want them to be. This one's like 800 pixels wide, but you can make it whatever you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that folder and drag this into my root. So this is my new header, and I'm going to set that as my new header. And then you'll see it populates there. World is how we have Maya set up. So this is my defaults. You could have whatever you want, but it does matter. So like if you have a scene that's not matching, once we have this set up, I can go here and I can say world match, and I can say animatch or all match. And if I do all match, it will. I need to change this to 30. I didn't change that yet. So 30 frames a second, linear, sure. And then if I save, and then if I do an all match, you'll see that the open scene file is going to have its frame rate set to 30, and it's going to have these other options set as well for animation and for the world up settings. On color, this is something you can do as well. It currently just affects two things. So you can use the picker, and if I want to change the color, it's going to be this color. This is a transparent PNG, so it's just filtering across here. And then the secondary color is used just on these bars, so you can set it up to whatever you want. And I can make a slight variant, and then I'd have to save that. Another refresh. So you can change that however you want, but that's what this is for. If for whatever reason you use a color picker and it does not match what you're picking, in Maya there is a setting, and this is something I just found out myself recently. If you'll turn off color management, the color picker will work as you expect, and you can turn it back on if you need it on. But for whatever reason, at least in my 2018, with this picker, it returns, like if I pick this, it returns gibberish, and it doesn't match what it actually is, which is pretty annoying. So that's something, if you find you have that issue, you can just do that, and it will fix it. Cool. Let's see. Export options we'll get to more as we get into production, but this is where you can actually set options for the how things are going to be exported to the game engine. And again, so for this project is going to be our Unreal version. I'm also going to do a Unity version, and they'll have different options depending on what engine we're going to and how we set things up. Let's see, there's nothing in content, so let's go ahead and fill that. So if I go to, cross my fingers, verify asset directories. One sec. Okay, I had a bug. But, so I can show you what this does. So this is our content. So currently you see there's nothing here. But if I go to Tools, verify asset directories, and then come here, you're going to see we actually have directories now. And if I pull this down, you'll see that it's been created. And so what that means is, based on our asset types, it's creating structure so we can start fleshing out our project. So again, this is something we'll get into a lot more detail with the asset management section, and as we start building things out, but that's what's happening. And also here, so this is a section to actually browse around. And I'm going to change projects so you see what that feels like too. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this. This is our project. So this is something you'll be able to load up after you get invited to the Dropbox, which I'm happy to do. This second section here is going to be our project list. So these are all projects that I have in my current list. At the bottom here, there's a project path that you can use to cull your list if you want to. So if you have stuff on here you don't need anymore, you can just click them and they'll go away and they won't be on your list any longer. But I'm going to go ahead and load up LBS because this is an old project. So you can kind of see what the structure looks like. So this is a pause project that we were working on a while ago, and so you'll see there's a lot of content. and there's a lot of export as well. So again, so content is going to be for our asset creation, and then export is going to be where we actually start dumping stuff for the game engine. So what's there is going to be based on that. So it's mainly FBXs is what's here. And most of these UI elements have right-click menus to do stuff. You can explore that as you choose. But so this project is going to have a lot more things to look at. So if I wanted to look at cutscene, expressions, you'll see. So this is kind of how we structure our project. So these were animations for this expression setup. And so these are the files themselves. So there's versions. And this is kind of when we were starting doing the metadata stuff. So it just has really limited information. But this is kind of how the structure works. So you're able to easily kind of walk around and find stuff to work on, load up those files, and do other stuff that we'll be doing later on in this workshop. So that's good for now. Go ahead and set up your own projects, and go ahead and send me a request to get you connected to this project, so you'll be able to load up this project as well. Because at some point we're going to be able to, I'm going to show you how to send things from this project to your own project and other setups as well. So one thing we do is when we have subcontractors, I'll set them up a project so that they can they don't have to have everything, and then I can just send animation files that'll take references over for them to work with and not have access to the whole project tree, just for security. That's it for now. Hope you enjoy. Looking forward to seeing what we make together.